I'm doing like this sort of story time thing because I have a few stories in my life that I feel like I could share to YouTube. Um so if you do like this one, then I'd appreciate if you subbed, or like if you hit the like button, because these take quite a while to edit and make the thumbnail and things like that. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the story now. So it was the end of 2020 and like around the start of 2021, and all of my cousins and relatives and some of their friends and things we all went camping near a beach. So we had been fishing a lot and things, and one of my cousins called Bob and his friend called Greg decided that they would wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning, and then they would go fishing. So they asked me if I could go, and I said I'd ask my parents because it was 4 a.m. in the morning, and they said yes, but I just had to sleep in my cousin's swag with him, so I wouldn't wake them up in the morning. So it got to night time, and I asked him, should I bring a sleeping bag in, because it was really cold. So I asked, should I bring a sleeping bag in, and he said no, he has a doona in there, so we could both use that. I got in, and I saw the doona. It was big enough for the both of us, but so we started sleeping, and he ripped the blanket off me in his sleep. So I was really cold, but I had fallen asleep, so I woke up freezing cold. So I laid there for a bit, wondering if I should wake him up or just lie there and be freezing cold. So I decided to try and rip the blanket off him, and I did, and it woke him up, and I had the blanket on me for a bit, but then he ripped it off again. So I thought it's no point trying to take the blanket back, so I just had to try and get warmth from other things. So I tried lying next to him and keeping my feet warm, because that was like the main part that was cold, and that didn't really work. So I tried to sleep in my pillowcase, and that didn't work at all either, and I don't know why I tried it. I just, apparently when you're desperate because you're really cold, that's just what you do. So I was lying there freezing cold, not getting any sleep, and having to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So little did I know, Greg, who was sleeping next to us in the swag, was awake and was on his phone because he couldn't get to sleep either. So I just lied there for 7 hours, waiting to be woken up and waiting for the alarm to go off for us to get up. So I got half an hour of sleep, and that was it basically. So we all woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So Bob was coming, Greg was coming, and Jeff, another one of my cousins, was coming. So we all got up, we got our fishing rods and things, and we walked over to the fridge thing that we were keeping all our bait in. So we walked up there, took that out, and Bob gave his fishing rod to Greg, and Greg put it on the table that was there, and it fell off. Bob's fishing rod fell off onto Greg's fishing rod, which then both fell off the table. So that made a really loud noise, but luckily no one woke up, or else we would have been dead. So we got all our bait, and we were walking down to the beach, and we walked past this cabin thing, and there were people just doing the dishes. I'm not even joking. We walked past them, and they looked out the window at us. All of their lights were on, and they were just doing the dishes at 4 o'clock in the morning. I thought they would. I didn't know what was happening, because all of them were up from what we could see through the window, and they were just doing the dishes. So we got to the beach and we put all our rods in, and Greg was like, "Oh, I wonder when the sun comes up." So I'm pretty sure it said like the sun would come up at like 6 o'clock. So it was 4 then, and it was really cold, and I had a jumper on and then had like shorts on basically. So I had all of that in the freezing cold, but luckily it wasn't. It was really cold, but the water was warmer than the actual like air was. So, and I didn't trust Greg, who was saying, "Oh, the water's warmer than the actual air is," but finally I actually tried it and it was. So we started fishing and things like that, and it got about to 6 o'clock, and the sun hadn't come up yet because there was a massive cloud blocking it, and Greg wasn't standing for that. He called the weather company, but it put him to voicemail. So he left a voicemail saying something along the lines of like, "You said the sun was coming up at 6 o'clock, but it's not up yet." So all of that happened, and we had to laugh at that. And then one of the fishing rods got a massive tug, so Bob started reeling his in and reeling it in, reeling it in, and he almost got down. He was like getting pretty close to like the bank of the beach, and it snapped off. So our biggest thing our only fish that we'd had for 2 hours got off, so we weren't very happy about that. But Jeff got something as well, but his came off as well. And it got to about 7 o'clock, so we'd been out there for 3 hours without anything, and Bob got something. He felt like a bump on it, but he just thought it was nothing, so he just started reeling it in to see if he'd lost his bait, and he pulled in the tiniest fish you've ever seen. It was like half of a pencil, like a half of a full pencil. It was tiny as, and another half an hour went by, and we just decided to go back. So I got half an hour of sleep, and I woke up at 4 o'clock. I went out in the freezing cold just to catch half a pencil size of a fish. So I wasn't very happy about that. But we got back to camp, and all of them were like, "Oh, what did you get? What did you get? What did you get?" And we had to tell them that we got half the size of a pencil of like the size of the fish was. So all of that for nothing, basically, because we had to let the fish go. So that's the end of the story. I don't know what it's going to be called or anything, but if you did like it and things like that, hit the like button and sub, because it's free. It doesn't cost you anything at all, and you can just, if you don't like my other videos, you can just unsubscribe later. So I hope you enjoyed that, and if I get a good reaction to this video, then there will be more of these videos coming out soon. Alright, see you guys.